Hello, charter school program subgrantees. This is Nick Bertaski with the Wisconsin Resource Center for Charter Schools, just giving you a quick video about how to make sure your technical assistance that you've been working on, your professional development throughout the year, gets into the HeadRush platform. It's gonna be a quick video, so bear with me. But first, I do just wanna say, hey, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you so much for your leadership during some dynamic and challenging times. We are so fortunate to have you leading our schools and working with our students and our communities around the state. All right, so quick review of the subgrantee requirements, right? So each subgrantee each year, you have one competency that you need to be working on in Charter School Authorizer. You are working on two different competencies with your governance board. Charter leaders are working on two competencies. Charter school teachers, classroom are working on two of the classroom competencies. Keeping in mind that at least one of those should be a technology considerations topic group, which is obviously very much in our wheelhouse now that we have all gone distance learning, emergency learning. And then lastly, if you are a district authorized charter school, you need to just document that one non-charter school teacher, principal, or administrator has participated in the technical assistance or professional development with you. Real brief review, right? You have your growth area. Chances are you started to participate in some sort of professional development. You brought in someone, you went to a workshop, your district held a summit or a PD event. You've done some virtual training in the last couple of weeks. You've reached out to a mentor school. You've got a resource. You looked through some different PDFs that you've read or a book study. Any of those things could be part of that action, right? And then you're finding that competency in which category that it's in. You're dropping it into the HeadRush, and then you're just giving some evidence to demonstrate what the learning was. So once more, you have kind of an action plan in HeadRush with the competencies inside it, and then whatever you decide as a school on how you wanted to receive that professional development is all good. So let's quickly jump into the HeadRush platform and see just what that looks like. So when you're action planning and you have a brand new action plan, you're writing up what it is, you're putting in the title, you're writing up what it is, you're picking your competencies right here on that overview page, right, on the about page here. And in the competencies that are already broken up by the different domain. So let's just say we are doing a governance board one. I would click on governance board. It was around effective governance. A couple of our governance board members attended a virtual webinar, part of the virtual works day, let's say. And it was around board functions, setting goals. So you could add your competencies. You could add both the competencies into the same action plan if you were working on more than one, or you can have two different action plans with one competency in each, if that makes more sense for you. After you've added the competencies, you're just gonna put in who created this, which is me right now. You drop in your mentor school and all the schools would come up. So you'd find your mentor school to drop in. The reason you're doing that is you want them attached to your action plan. A lot of you, this will automatically happen, but you want them attached because they're the one that's going to finalize it for you. And then you're gonna wanna put in yourself. If you're working on this with any other schools, you could also add them and you could have multiple schools a part of the same action plan. You can drop in some dates and then you're off and running. On the task board, notice I went from the overview page, which was what my plan was all about, putting in the competencies. Up here now, I'm moving over to task board. I've kept mine as an untitled. I would name my action plan just for my own reference. In the task board, you need to have at least one task. And that task is the activity, is the learning that you participated in. It is that webinar, it is the book that you read, it is the resource that you reached out. So if you decided to reach out to Works and you were looking at example policies, you can put right in here, after you click add task, read over example policies from other charter schools. And that would be added here. When you're done with that, you can slide it over. You can put in the actual, you could attach the actual policies in here if you would like. Once you're done with that, and for some of you in your action plans, you'll have several activities. A lot of you are using this to sort of track different professional development inside your school or track progress with your grant deliverables. That's fine. But you are only required to have at least one task, one activity on how you got better around that competency that you chose back on the overview page. And notice that mine is still in there. Then you're gonna move this from draft and you're gonna move it to either active or complete. If I'm feeling that I'm done, I would move it over to complete. Yep, I'm about to complete a module. And now there's an assessment page. On that assessment page, the school, right? Again, if I put more than one school in this, the school that has evidence, this is where you can put your evidence, which is right here. You can click it, you can put a link in there, you can put a file, you can link it to your Google Drive, you can take a picture with your camera, or if you don't have an actual thing to drop in that shows that there was learning that happened, you could just write a reflection about that. And what is that evidence? Well, if I was trying to get better at some systems and routines as a governance board, and I went to a training or I read over other schools' policies, other schools' bylaws, and now I've adopted a policy, or we've tweaked a policy, or we've tweaked a procedure or a practice, I would just write in here my reflection about what that practice now looks like. I would write in the policy that we have now tweaked based on reading someone else's, and then that would live in here. And then you are done. As soon as I dropped this in and as soon as I went to the complete, my mentor school was notified that I have completed an action plan. They will now come in, they will look at your activity on the task board. They will go to the assessment page, look at the evidence that you have dropped in, and then they will just mark it right here as satisfactory, and you will now be getting the credit. So once again, we are looking for you to in the HeadRush platform by August 30th of 2020. You're going to have one authorizer competency in there, 2 governance board, 2 school leader, and then 2 in the classroom. And you can write that activity. For down here, for the non-charter school teacher, if you just want to write that into the task board, or you can send a direct email to Works. Either one, you have done those in the past. Questions? Please reach out to us as we would love to hear from you. And again, thank you for everything that you're doing. And we look forward to continuing to work with you.